September 10th at the Patriot Center, Shine Fights is putting on our first Grand Prix championship. As a fan of the sport, it's something that I've gravitated to and missed. We haven't seen that in over 10 years now. You know, you look back at the early UFCs or the Prides, the thing that really stood out to me was that this is what an athlete really is. Someone who can persevere, have the skill set, have the mental determination to keep pushing forward. With a Grand Prix, not only do you have to worry about your first round matchup, but there's so many intangibles. There's injuries, there's fatigue, there's, who's the guy I'm fighting in my next round. All these things make it really mentally difficult to get yourself ready for a Grand Prix. But from a fan's point of view, there's nothing better.
On September 10th, a new brand of champion will be born. Watch Shine Fights as MMA's brightest stars endure the sport's greatest test. A one-night Grand Prix tournament. 8 men will wage war, but only one will survive to be crowned Shine Grand Prix champion. Order it live on Pay Per View.
Drew Fickett is one of my favorite fighters to watch fight. He's extremely intense, and he has wins over some of the best guys in the sport.
If I win this, I'll be able to see my daughter again, and that's what it's about for me. So every second of every day, I'm be thinking about her, and every second that I can stay awake, I'm going to be training, and that's what my mind and my body is going to be concentrated on, and that's all that's important to me.
When Drew Fickett is on top of his game, the intensity he brings, the overall presence that he has in that cage, I mean, he's going to be a really difficult opponent for anyone to beat. Rich is a 10-time WEC vet. He's fought on bigger cards. He knows the pressure of having the lights and the people watch you. And at 16-3, he's only had defeat 3 times in his career.
I've always looked forward to fighting in a Grand Prix style tournament, and I think that's probably the toughest kind of test you can get into, really.
He's one of those guys that can really take the fight wherever you need to go. I mean, he's had some epic wars and epic battles. His fight with Hermes Franca, you know, he got his arm jacked up. He didn't want to give up. I mean, this guy just has the heart of a true warrior.
I've kind of been fighting all my life. When I was young, I wrestled since I was about 11 years old.
You have to stop Rich Crunkleton for him to lose that fight.
After 10 years, I think I'm probably still fighting MMA because I can't really find anything else to do in my time.
When you step into the ring with a guy like Crazy Horse Bennett, you have to expect one thing, the unexpected. He's capable of beating anyone on any day. That's the crazy thing about him. He knocked out one of the best strikers at 155 pounds.
I got in MMA because I wasn't a good drug dealer, kept going to jail for drugs, so had to find another profession. And I was beating asses on the street for free. So I realized that I can make money in this sport, and we've been balling since. I always wanted to fight for Shine, so yeah, this fight will make a hit.
Charles Bennett, Crazy Horse, Kid Chaos, whatever you want to call him, he's a little nutty, but you know what? He's 100% fun to watch fight. A lot of people think Marcus Aurelio is arguably the favorite to win this tournament just because of the amount of experience and competing at that high level. He's been all over the world. He's fought in the UFC, he's fought in Pride, he's fought in Brazil. And in all of his fights that have gone the distance, he's never been submitted or finished.
That's a big challenge for me. I like that. I've been there before. I did a tournament in 2004 in Japan with Zaz, and I won. There was 3 fights in one night. So I've been there before, I know how it is.
He's a hard guy to stop, and he's got world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt level skills. This is someone that you're going to have to watch out for because at any moment, he can put you to sleep both on your feet and on the ground.
I got my black belt almost 15 years ago in Brazil. I fought the Brazilian tournament. That was my first fight. That was against Royler Grace, and then I beat him. And that was like huge by that time. And I fought many tournaments in Brazil, world tournament, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Then I came to America to start to fight MMA. I'm ready to do it, to fight any situation. I'm here to win.
On September 10th, a new brand of champion will be born. Watch Shine fights as MMA's brightest stars endure the sport's greatest test, a one-night Grand Prix tournament. 8 men will wage war, but only one will survive to be crowned Shine Grand Prix champion. Order it live on Pay Per View.
Carlo has wins over some of the best guys in the sport, like Carlos Conduit, Melvin Guillard, Spencer Fisher. He's been in those shows before. He's beat up the local circuit. He has wins over some really good names. This is that opportunity, and Carlo is training like a madman for it.
The main difference between a Grand Prix format and a single fight would definitely be the risk of injury and not being able to fight in the semifinal or final later. Whereas if you're fighting in a single fight, that's the only fight you're going to do that night. So it's much more challenging. It's infinitely more challenging. I think there's going to be a sense of urgency to finish each fight quicker because I don't want to fight 3 fights in one night to the distance each fight. I would definitely like to go in there and get everybody out of there and send them on our way home. I really haven't been able to fulfill my destiny and my potential that I have, my talent, and I think this would be a great night to show the world really what I'm capable of doing.
Hector Munoz is one of those guys that if you're not a rabid MMA fan, you probably don't know his name, but if you've ever had the opportunity to train with him, like a Clay Guida or a Cowboy, you know just what a badass dude Hector is. Hector hasn't fought in 2 years because he had some knee problems. He had surgery, and from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing on tape, this kid looks incredible. He helped Clay Guida get ready for one of his fights, and I spoke to Clay Guida, and Clay said, this kid's a beast. You have guys that are hungry to prove themselves like Josh Shockley. Josh comes from Indiana, 9-0 record, and hasn't really had the opportunity to fight on a big stage yet, but he really feels like he's ready for this challenge, and he's got his work cut out for him with all these experienced vets going in there. But on the same token, I don't think that he has any pressure. Nobody expects him to win the tournament. But if he does, and he proves himself, wow, he's going to be one of the top 10, top 1,555 pounders in one night.
I'm 20 years old. I got started in mixed martial arts when I was 14. I went and watched my cousin fight. Told my parents I wanted to do it. They kind of brushed it off. So about 6 months later, I went to another show and I had saved up some money cutting grass and bought my own gloves. And kind of from there, they were forced to take me to the gym. Started training when I was 15 and did my first pro fight when I was 16. I actually lied about my age. I told them I was 18 and got in a little trouble afterwards, but I did my first pro fight when I was 16.
James Warfield has cement in his gloves.
Started a little amateur kickboxing out of my weight class, fighting heavyweights. It's like 168, fighting heavyweights. And in 3 months, I had 38 knockouts against heavyweights.
None of his fights have gone the distance that he's won. He's stopped everybody. 15 knockouts and TKOs, 6 submissions, and he's growing and getting better.
I feel like I'm the rookie on deck. Everybody else is known. I done watched them since I got into MMA and started doing my homework. And I feel like I can prove myself. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I feel like it's everything right now. And besides, when it's all said and done, I feel like I got what it takes to win the whole thing. And if nothing else, I want my respect. To me, that means everything.
The thing that we don't know is how good is James Warfield's conditioning? Is he going to be able to go those championship rounds? 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 7 rounds in one night. One thing we do know is that if you're at the end of a right hand of James Warfield, you're going to sleep.
On September 10th, a new brand of champion will be born. Watch Shine fights as MMA's brightest stars endure the sport's greatest test, a one-night Grand Prix tournament. 8 men will wage war, but only one will survive to be crowned Shine Grand Prix champion. Order it live on Pay Per View.